GYMDAD Fitness. Today we have a limited edition review from you. This is Killer Labz First Degree Massacre Edition. And if you remember, we had First Degree on here a couple weeks ago. This was an intense product. And so I've seen Smooth Ride Pre's do the limited editions where they make things more hardcore, like Alpha Lion Supreme. You can go on and on. There's various ones. That one is the first that popped in my head. But as far as this First Degree, man, this one felt like a limited edition type-esque pre right off the bat. So when I saw that they had a Massacre edition, I was almost a little spooked, because First Degree, this gives me a good chance to bring this up. Be very cautious, tread lightly when you're scooping that thing, because 2 scoops was an intense experience in a good way when I was working out, but post effects, very, very extreme appetite suppression, on nausea, on the borderline of sickness. I kind of wrote up the stomach bug. And my friend Zach, who's been on this channel for guest reviews, rating this one as well. He's actually can handle a bit more stims than me, and he did 2 heapings as well, had the exact same symptoms. So, but at 2 levels, we both really enjoyed it. So make sure that you weigh your scoops out. And so that's why I still want to record this. I actually had my phone conk out on me during the recording of this, so I have it mixed up right in here. But First Degree, 1 scoop's 14 grams. I have my scale right here. Came in at like 16, 17 grams at a flat level. Did it twice on the scale, 16 to 17. So you're looking at almost 5 grams over the dosage if you do the 2 scoops. So we'll do the pre at just the recommended. I end up doing a gram over at 28's 2 scoop grammage, but we did end up running this thing at 29. So just be wary of that. So we'll get into the effects and the label breakdown. If you can handle the full in the next run, if I can handle this, I'm fine. I'll do 2 levels that get me at like the 5-6 grams over, whatever it is, just so I can do the 2 levels, just to report back to you. But anyway, the flavor is pretty solid. It's a murderberry, and if you want this pre-workout, it's at highstempreworkouts.com. Honestly, I didn't even see the First Degree Massacre edition on their website. I even checked their Instagram page. I didn't really see much on it. If highstempreworkouts.com has limited supply of it, but it's a First Degree Massacre edition, and this thing is loaded, just double the stems pretty much. We'll get into the label breakdown and what's all in it, but they made a limited edition-esque pre, another limited edition. They just went ahead and doubled it up on it. Let me get a good taste for you guys just so I can report back. But it's delicious. I thought it was gonna be like a fruit punch-esque type of flavor, but more of a wild berry, almost kind of like almost a fruit roll-up-esque type flavor, but pretty solid. Nice little 8 out of 10. Maybe even 9, maybe even creeping up on that. You can make the argument a bit. Let's get into the label breakdown and effects of the First Degree Massacre Edition. GYMDAD Fitness, now time to get into the label breakdown and effects of Killer Labz First Degree Massacre. And like I said in the weigh-in, to not get this one confused, this is the limited edition version of the First Degree pre-workout, which we reviewed and ran a couple weeks ago. And First Degree Massacre. Let's get into the label break. Yeah, and I even looked at the 2 comparisons. I looked at it a while back when I first got this product in, but we will just run through it's a pretty big label listing. We're just going to blow right through it, and then I'll show you some of the differences. So this is a 1 scoop, 2 scoop. So 2 scoops is 28 grams. Like I said during the weigh-in, it came in pretty hefty, and I'll tell you about my 2 experiences. I'm going to read you the 2 scooper, obviously. Citrulline malate, 8 grams. Creatine mono, 5 grams. Beta-alanine, 3.2. Biotin, 2.5. Taurine, 2 grams. Abgatine sulfate, 1 gram. Tyrosine, 500 milligrams. Choline bititrate, 500 milligrams. Caffeine anhydrous, 400. That's one of the ones that got upped. It was 300 in the previous ones. PEA, 300 milligrams. Ariadrenesis 250. Let's see if Aria stayed the same. Yes, Aria stayed the same. Junglins 200. Junglin stayed the same too. Epiketin 200, which is an interesting one. I'm pretty sure that's like a muscle building like product. I'm like almost like in the I don't know. I have to look that up again, but I feel like that one was in one of like the muscle building complexes. I remember Redcon Run 1 had like one of those like natty muscle building like matrices, and I feel like I remember seeing that one in there. So interesting little ad there. I'm sure that's got some sort of background performance enhanced, strength increases and things like that. Pink Himalayan salt, 200 milligrams, and ephedrine, which is a decaffeine malate at 100 milligrams. That is the exact same that was in the previous.
Theobromine 50 milligrams, Herprazine A, Herprazine A, yes, they're at 10 milligrams, black pepper extract, and then Alpha Yo at 2 grams. So the Alpha Yo stays the same. I'm trying to see what other differences we have here. The main thing I'm seeing is the caffeine increase, the epicotin or whatever how you pronounce it increase. The citrulline malate stays the same. Um, to be honest, I am trying to. The agmatine stays the same there. It's kind of hard to. I mean, it looks, to be honest, like most of these things are kind of remain the same. They just up the caffeine content and add a few performance matrix ingredients in here as well. Honestly, like it's a pretty nice looking label. This one was so hard hitting to begin with. I was a little spooked to try Massacre because it's just more stimulated, and this already like first degree already kind of hit like a hardcore stim junkie slapper pre. And usually when we see limited editions, we see a smooth pre make a slapper pre. And so the fact that this was a slapper and they went ahead and made a limited edition to increase the slaps, um, you're expecting it to be even more intense. So I'm not gonna lie, I was like a little spooked to try this one, and I wasn't quite. I was looking forward to it, but I was a little reluctant just because this one was so freaking strong. But things change big time, and you wouldn't think that with like you'd think the sourcing would be the exact same. So my first time I ran this thing, I did like 1 scoop and then 3/4 scoop to get it at the exact 28 grams, and it was a bottle rocket of energy. Like this was straight like nitro fueled in a good way. Like it was energetic, it was aggressive, it was like a savage workout. Like I'll say aggression and energy was the star of the show. But there's no issues whatsoever after the workout. There's no stomach issues. It came down nicely, which I mentioned on first degree when I did the 2 rounded scoops. Very bad post workout crash and stomach issues with the alpha yo intensity. And the first degree, even though it claims 2 grams of alpha yo, and this one had two, it feels like it still has all the alpha yo effects that you would like, but none of the negatives. Like for some reason, like this one just like hit better, and that's why you see like you hear the term labels are just labels, and you think that would be maybe that's not the case, like in a situation where it's the same company and they're just coming out with like you think they're sourcing all this stuff the same, but you never know how this stuff kind of comes together. And so honestly, like this first degree massacre was beautiful the way it came together, and I was extremely excited after my first run to run this thing again because this today I just ran it. This is one I'll get in a little bit more detail on. I did the 2 flat scoops, and so that ends up being about 6 grams over. And I stacked this thing with a pump formula today. I ran it on its own last time. Actually, got it right here. Stacked it with this baby right here, Vinyako Pumps by Dark Labz. But anyway, absolutely outrageous. Let's get start from the beginning. So this thing comes in quick, which it always does when it's more of there's no 2-amino, there's no 1,3 going on in here. It's the main bones of this product is alpha yo, caffeine. Obviously, we got the junglins and the urea, but the caffeine and the alpha yo come in pretty damn fast, like within 15 to 20. So definitely, I took this thing like right before going to the gym. Not one of these ones I take and hang out for a little bit, then head to the gym. And so I knew after the first run of first degree when to take this one. And then the urea, the good feelings, the junglins kind of kicks in about the 30 to 40 minute mark, and it's like this mixture of like straight rocket fuel energy, aggression, but then also like you feel, I wouldn't call it happy, but you feel like somewhat social. Like both times I noticed, I have caught myself like usually sometimes some pre's get me locked in, and I'm just like zoned in on the weights and nothing else. But this one was like I was zoned in on the weights, but at the same time, I was chatting it up, meeting people, talking to people at the new gym and stuff like that. And usually when I'm at a new gym, stuff like that, I'm like head down, locked in the zone, like let's not fuck around. And both times, like when I ran on this thing, the peak was the 40 minute mark. And this thing, I know that you guys probably hate hearing this because I feel like this is overdone, the same by reviewers. But like I honestly, like if I was blind taste tested with this and a 2-amino alpha yo slapper, say like legit V2, it would be extremely difficult to tell the difference. Like this is one of these ones that have you questioning. I feel like I've said this before too, and you hear this all the time. It has you questioning if you like what kind of product you took. Like I mean, by standards of a stim junkie, this is a hardcore daily right here. I don't suggest running this thing, 5 straight days with alpha yo in it, but with it not having 2-amino and like giving yourself a break from that, so you don't grow such a tolerance, this is an awesome alternative. Like, this is up there to me. This beats. I kind of had this with like a Symbiote, like a hardcore daily that almost kind of has you confused if it's got 2-amino or not in it. This thing passed Symbiote. This thing, it passed the first degree original as well. Like, I really don't see myself using this one when I have this one anymore. They're both really awesome pre's, but definitely extremely impressed. This one came together very nicely, and I strongly recommend this one if you're looking for like a hardcore daily that has an alpha yo slap with a good vibe feel to it. And both times I took this product, even at the up grammage, I didn't have any sort of stomach fallout, any sort of issues whatsoever, nothing over the top. It's just straight adrenaline energy that you receive, but it's the good adrenaline energy, not like the anxiety filled adrenaline. It's not the shaky feeling pre. I mean, obviously you're going to get a little shakes with like, the intense energy, but in a good way. Hit back, hit arms on this thing, back one day, arms one day, and both workouts freaking amazing, awesome. And how this one kind of comes in score wise. So raw energy, 10 out of 10. I'm going to give it a red bar because they freaking nailed it. Just sense of urgency as well, 10 out of 10, red bar. They nailed it. Euphoria, this is as high as it can get on Euphoria for like a non-2-amino, non-1,3 product. I'm going to give this thing like a 9 out of 10. Like, it was freaking good. Like, I felt awesome in the gym, and I was coming off a few workouts that were so, and this thing kind of flipped the switch and got me back on the right track. And overall pumps, this thing was awesome. Like, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Like, when I took it by itself, it was a very vascular style pump by itself, but when I stacked it with Maniaco, it kind of added a little bit more juicier, a little bit of that so difficult to make a phone call pump because you can't get your arm up to your ear type of style with that Maniaco added to it. But on its own, it was definitely more of a vascular class of a pump. And then overall, I think that's all. Oh, taste, another really good flavor. So 9 out of 10 on that thing. So this is my highest scoring pre for a non-2-amino, non-1,3, non-hidden ingredient product. Can't say enough good things about this Massacre. This is one of these ones that blew me away. Like I mentioned, like I actually was kind of not looking forward to running this. I looked at the label of the limited edition. I looked at what it was upping. I looked at the changes, and it just didn't make any sense to me. But like I said, sometimes you just got to run the product, and eventually you need to be the research, and you need to find out, and not just fucking analyze labels. And this it changed my mind. Like I'm completely bumped on how this thing hit so damn well, but it did. I don't know if they changed the alpha yo sourcing because it felt just as strong but cleaner afterward. It didn't have that dirtiness, during the workout / post, but yet it still had the slap. It still had the urgency that you love in it. And so all in all, highly suggest this product. GYMDAD Fitness. Like, subscribe. If you want this pre-workout or this one right here, they're both still available on highstimpreworkouts.com. Code GYMDAD that gets you a discount, get you some samples too. I think he's still doing that. And this is a limited edition, like I said, and once it's gone, it's gone. So definitely try to snatch this one if you can, if you're picking up some products and you need a hardcore daily along with it. But we'll catch you on the next review.